Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Everyday Health Stories, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of medical science through the power of storytelling. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's crucial for everyone: the intricate relationship between calcium, our kidneys, and some surprising medical complexities.
It's great to be back, Anna, and I'm excited to unpack this topic. Calcium is essential for strong bones, muscle function, and so much more, but it can also play a tricky role in kidney health. We'll explore a real patient's journey, delve into the science, and uncover some important lessons about calcium's impact on our bodies.
So, Dr. Reddy, you mentioned a patient story. I always find it easier to understand these things when I can connect it to a real person.
Absolutely, Anna. Real stories bring the science to life. I had a patient recently, let's call her Sarah, whose case perfectly illustrates the complexities we're talking about today.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
Well, Sarah came in with a mix of symptoms. Palpitations, that fluttering feeling in her chest. She was exhausted all the time, and she'd even felt her bed shaking at night, which turned out to be her heart racing. Turns out she had atrial fibrillation, or AFib, an irregular heartbeat.
Wow, that's scary. So, what caused it?
That's where the story gets interesting. Along with AFib, she also had a kidney stone and high calcium levels. Now, at first glance, those might seem unrelated, right? But they're all connected.
Wait, how are kidney stones and calcium related and then connected to her heart?
Her high calcium was the key. It contributed to the kidney stone and also triggered the AFib. The calcium disrupted the electrical signals in her heart, causing that irregular beat. And to complicate things further, the medications she was taking, including vitamin D and calcium supplements, were actually making the calcium problem worse.
Oh my gosh. So, the supplements meant to help were actually hurting her?
Yes, that seemed to be the case here. It's a delicate balance. Too much calcium, especially when combined with certain medications, can be harmful. And in Sarah's case, it created this cascade of issues. We had to adjust her medications, get her calcium levels under control, and treat the AFib to get her back on track. So, Anna, we've talked about this case, but let's zoom out a bit and talk about calcium in general. It's essential for strong bones, muscle function, nerve signals, so many things. But when it comes to our kidneys, the story gets a little more complicated.
Okay, so calcium's good, but maybe not so good for our kidneys? I'm so confused.
Think of it this way. Calcium is like Goldilocks, right? You need just the right amount. Too little, and you can have bone problems. Too much, and it can cause trouble in your kidneys. One way this happens is through calcification, where calcium deposits build up in the kidney tissue. It's like little hard bits forming where they shouldn't be.
Oh, like little rocks in your kidneys. Is that the same as kidney stones?
Kidney stones are one type of calcium deposit, but calcification is a broader term. It can also refer to more general calcium buildup in the kidneys. Nephrocalcinosis, that's another related term, but it specifically refers to calcium deposits in the functional part of the kidney, the nephrons. It's like a more widespread issue than just a single stone.
Okay, so nephrocalcinosis is worse than regular calcification.
In a way, yes. It's a more widespread problem within the kidney itself, and it can impact kidney function more severely. You know how we talked about Sarah's case? Her high calcium levels put her at risk for both kidney stones and nephrocalcinosis. It's a reminder that maintaining the right balance is really crucial, especially, with something as essential as calcium. We need it, but we need to manage it carefully.
Okay, so if we need calcium, but too much can be bad, how do we get the right amount? Supplements, are there different kinds?
Yeah, so supplements are definitely an option, especially for those who might not be getting enough calcium from their diet. The two most common types you'll see are calcium carbonate and calcium citrate.
Carbonate and citrate, is there a difference? Which one is, better?
Well, they both provide calcium, but they have, different properties. Calcium carbonate is generally cheaper and has a higher concentration of elemental calcium, meaning you get more calcium per pill, but it needs stomach acid for absorption, so it's best taken with food. Calcium citrate, on the other hand, is more easily absorbed and can be taken with or without food. It's often a better choice for people with low stomach acid or digestive issues, and it has a slightly lower risk of causing constipation. It's gentler on the system.
Oh, okay. So citrate is easier on the stomach, but what about side effects? Can these supplements cause problems?
Like any supplement, there can be side effects. With both carbonate and citrate, the biggest concern with overuse is hypercalcemia, which is, too much calcium in the blood. This can lead to kidney stones, nausea, constipation, and other issues. It's important to follow the dosage instructions carefully and consult with your doctor, especially if you have any underlying health conditions.
Right. So too much of even a good thing can be bad. What about like how much should you take? Is there a recommended amount?
The recommended daily allowance of calcium varies depending on age and other factors, but for most adults, it's around 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day. It's always best to discuss your individual needs with your doctor, especially, if you're considering taking supplements. They can help you determine the right type and dosage for you. Don't just grab a bottle off the shelf without checking first. So, Anna, we've talked about calcium supplements, but there's another important piece of this puzzle, calcitriol. Have you heard of it?
Calcitriol, not really. Is it like another supplement?
It is, but it's a special one. Calcitriol is actually the active form of vitamin D. You see, when we talk about vitamin D, we're often talking about a group of related compounds. Calcitriol is the form that's most potent and the one our bodies actually use to regulate calcium and phosphorus levels. It's like the VIP of vitamin D.
Oh, okay. Like the VIP. So it helps with calcium. But how does it, interact with the supplements we talked about?
That's a great question. Calcitriol works by increasing calcium absorption in the gut. So, when you take it along with calcium supplements like calcium citrate, you're essentially boosting both the amount of calcium you're taking in and the efficiency with which your body absorbs it. This can be a good thing if you need extra calcium, like for example, if you have a deficiency, but it also means there's a higher risk of hypercalcemia, especially if you're taking high doses of both.
Right. So like too much of a good thing. And hypercalcemia can lead to kidney stones, right?
Yes, and not just kidney stones. Chronically high calcium levels can also lead to other problems like nephrocalcinosis, which is a buildup of calcium in the kidneys, potentially causing damage. So it's crucial to be careful when combining calcitriol with calcium supplements. It's important to work closely with your doctor and monitor your calcium levels regularly.
Okay, so we've talked about calcitriol and calcium and like how they can increase the risk of hypercalcemia. But is there anything else that can make this worse? Like, what about dehydration?
Dehydration plays a really significant role here, Anna. When you're dehydrated, your body has less fluid, so the concentration of calcium and other substances in your blood and urine goes up. This can create like a perfect storm for kidney stones. Think of it like this. Like if you have a pot of water and you keep adding salt, eventually the salt will start to precipitate out and form crystals. Dehydration kind of does the same thing in your kidneys with calcium. It's like a super concentrated environment where stones can form more easily.
Oh, wow, that makes total sense. So like dehydration makes it easier for those calcium crystals to, stick together.
Precisely. And not only does dehydration exacerbate the risk of kidney stones, it can also worsen hypercalcemia itself. Remember, hypercalcemia means high calcium levels in your blood. Well, if you're dehydrated, those levels become even more concentrated, which is like really dangerous.
So dehydration is like a double whammy. It makes hypercalcemia worse and it makes kidney stones more likely.
Absolutely. And to make matters like even more complicated, hypercalcemia can also trigger another serious condition, atrial fibrillation, or AFib. It's a type of irregular heartbeat that can lead to blood clots, stroke, and even heart failure.
Whoa, seriously? So high calcium can mess with your heart rhythm too.
It can. Hypercalcemia disrupts the delicate electrical signals that control your heartbeat. It interferes with the way calcium ions move in and out of your heart cells, which can lead to those irregular rhythms.
So like all these things are connected, calcium, dehydration, kidney stones, AFib. It's like totally mind-blowing.
It really is. So now let's talk about the long-term effects of regularly using calcium carbonate, like Tums, on kidney function. Over time, consistently high doses of calcium carbonate can really take a toll on your kidneys. It can lead to nephrocalcinosis, which is basically a buildup of calcium deposits in the kidney tissue. And this can, impair kidney function and even lead to chronic kidney disease.
Oh, wow. That's like really serious. So it's not just about kidney stones then?
Exactly. Nephrocalcinosis is like a different beast altogether. It's more of a diffuse deposition of calcium throughout the kidney as opposed to the localized stones. And it can also mess with nutrient absorption, particularly iron. Calcium carbonate can bind with iron in your gut and prevent it from being absorbed properly, leading to iron deficiency.
So, like, if you're taking calcium carbonate regularly, you might actually be making yourself iron deficient.
It's definitely a possibility, especially if you're not getting enough iron from your diet.
Okay, so what about people who like really need calcium supplements, like those with pre-existing kidney conditions? What are their options?
Well, for folks with kidney issues, I generally recommend steering clear of calcium-based supplements, especially calcium carbonate. There are other, safer alternatives available. Non-calcium-based phosphate binders can help control phosphorus levels without putting extra stress on the kidneys. And if calcium supplementation is absolutely necessary, calcium acetate might be a better choice than calcium carbonate because it's less likely to cause hypercalcemia. But, even with calcium acetate, careful monitoring is really essential.
Wow, Dr. Reddy, this has been like totally eye-opening. So much to think about when it comes to calcium and kidney health.
Absolutely, Anna. It's a complex interplay of factors, and it's crucial to understand how seemingly simple things like calcium supplements can have significant long-term impacts on our kidneys.
So, what are the key takeaways our listeners should remember?
Well, first off, calcium is vital for overall health, but too much of it, especially from supplements like calcium carbonate, can lead to some serious kidney problems like kidney stones and nephrocalcinosis. Second, if you have pre-existing kidney conditions, you need to be extra cautious with calcium supplements and consider alternatives. Third, hydration is key. Dehydration can really exacerbate the risks associated with high calcium levels. And finally, always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new supplements, especially if you have any underlying health conditions. Please remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider for any medical concerns.
Right, that's so important. Don't just self-medicate, folks. Talk to your doctor.
Exactly. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and family. You never know who might benefit from this information. Remember, every story has the power to transform lives.
And don't forget to subscribe to Everyday Health Stories. We have so many exciting and educational episodes coming your way. Leave us a review too. We love hearing your feedback and suggestions.
Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and take care of yourself and those you love. Thanks for listening.
Bye, everyone. See you in the next episode.